Oh my god, I just got an invite to a ball. Do you want to be my +1? You've been cordially invited to Brain Tumor Ball. What is this? Is this a fundraiser or a Halloween? What are we dressing up as brain tumors? You can't make it? I didn't even tell you what day it was. What are you, booked and busy?
Yeah, this one's booked and busy. What? You of all people. You busy. Oh, this one's got things to do.
You're hiding something from me. Whatever, you can't make it to the brain tumor ball. Okay, there's always Dementia Disco. The Stroke Soiree on Sunday. How about Schizophrenia Salsa Night? No? Okay, how about Breast Cancer Party? Yeah, they all sound diabolical. But one of them is very real. Breast Cancer Party. Breast Cancer Party. No, not like symbolically. Not like the pink ribbon gala. No, it's literally translated Breast Cancer Party. It wasn't thrown by some kind of like chaotic frat house. Okay, it was hosted by W Korea, a high fashion magazine that thought it would be a magnificent idea to invite the country's biggest celebrities, from K-pop idols to drama stars, to what they called a breast cancer party. Dear attendee, you have been cordially invited to Breast Cancer Party. Kind regards. This wasn't the first gala or event they hosted. No, W Korea Magazine's Love Your W event happens every year for the last 2 decades. It's one of the bigger events on Seoul's social calendar. It happens every October, which coincides with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So the flashing lights, the designer dresses, the super sponsors, and the solemn speeches were woven together under one pretext: supporting a noble cause. All good for the past 20 years, but this time was bad. So bad, the second you click on the W Korea official website, you get slapped with an apology letter right across the face. The Korean public, the internet as well, always sensitive to the symbolism of health campaigns, did not forgive the frivolity. Some guests were shit-faced, passing out tips. Everyone had to hold a glass of alcohol, which, by the way, is one of the modifiable risk factors for breast cancer. TikTok challenges and J Park performing Shake Your Ass For Me on stage. Awareness speeches playing over lingerie ads. Ads, of course. Luxury sponsors everywhere. That's the goal, though, of a gala. Right? You know.
Glam, shine, luxury, donations.
Donations. No? No donations? Oh, okay. So no funds for the fundraiser? Okay. Welcome to W Korea's Love Your W Gala, where awareness met alcohol got drunk on itself. Love Your W, but W doesn't stand for woman, it stands for whiskey. Alright, so let's see what this breast cancer party actually looked like, because I swear if I describe it to you, you'll think I'm exaggerating. Figures of all genres and generations paraded before photographers on the carpet. Yuna and Yeji from ITZY, Kazuha and Shaiwan, Monsta X, Girls' Generation, Big Bang, BTS, that's the name almost everybody knows. Jake and Songhoon as well from ENHYPEN. Yeah, J Park, Jeon Somi, aespa. You know, many names that any K-pop fan would recognize right away. Epic event. Everything was perfect, except for the small tiny detail, a little. You know, I don't want to be that guy, but no one seemed to remember why they were there. I'm not going to talk about any of the guests for now. Netizens online are already tearing them apart. It's shifting the focus from what I think really matters. The organizers. Their event, Love Your W, is an awareness event, not just a fundraiser. Definitely not a frat party. You're supposed to be educating, you're raising awareness, and you're raising funds with champagne trays, neon lights, idols dancing, J Park singing, Dyson. Guests holding glasses, drinks. Yeah, this is a cancer awareness event where alcohol is the main accessory, TikTok the principal activity, and the cause, lost in translation. Somewhere between a Gucci logo and a Moet bottle. Wait, there's nothing here that's pink.
As a breast cancer survivor and a longtime K-pop fan, there's so many things that were crossing my mind as I saw the videos of the W Korea breast cancer awareness event. Nowhere in this event was there any form of pink.
No. because pink would be symbolism to the breast cancer awareness.
They wouldn't. Why would we do that?
No, that is not what the sponsors want. Let's start with the champagne, because apparently breast cancer prevention pairs great with sparkling wine. According to who? Not who! Who? The World Health Organization. That flat out called alcohol one of the biggest risk factors for breast cancer. Ooh, so picture this. You walk into an event meant to raise awareness for breast cancer. Before you even get your name tag, they hand you a glass of champagne. Not water, not juice, not even symbolic pink lemonade. No, champagne. Moet Champagne, the sponsor of the event. You can't make this shit up. Okay? This alcohol brand has sponsored their breast cancer prevention awareness event, as tagged on their Instagram stories profusely. Sponsors are very important to W Korea. More important than anything. More important than cognitive dissonance. In fact, in the same event last year, actress Park Bo-young was supposed to appear in the full body sort of photo shoot that they traditionally have with all the sponsors. But the sponsoring brand stockings they provided were not in her size, and so she couldn't put them on. W Korea, following very strict policy about dressing their guests in completely sponsored outfits, banned her from appearing in those full body photo shoots that she was scheduled for. Now, instead, they had to crop her pictures. Boo-hoo, who cares, right? Not a big deal. Right, yeah, but it tells you something. It tells you about the way W Korea thinks. You're more of a commodity than a human being. Park Bo-young, or just a mannequin for my sponsor. Sponsor comes first! Sponsor comes first. Of course. For the charity, right? The charity. It's a charity. They think it's... Who said anything? That's what they think it is. It's a... Back to the champagne. Apparently, having that drink in their hand was not optional. Multiple guests said that Steph had instructed them to, quote, "Don't ever be without a glass." Like, imagine alcohol being compulsory at a cancer prevention charity event. They thought it was synonymous with class. So blinded by image, didn't see what it could mean. It's like throwing a fundraiser for lung cancer and Marlboro is your primary sponsor. Everyone must puff a Marlboro cig in this event. Do you hear me? They're the sponsors. I don't care this about lung cancer. They're the sponsors. They're gonna be very upset. They don't see you smoking tar into your lungs. Do you understand me? Do not upset my sponsors. Take this cigarette, but it's a lung cancer. Shut up and puff. So they obligated people to hold these champagne glasses. Of course, people got tipsy. Some guests went stumbling through the lobby, which again, not the vibe you want for your cancer awareness gala. Some of the stars, perhaps aware of the absurdity, chose to toast with water. The boys of Stray Kids and Jessie, the internet discreetly applauded them for that. Either way, W Korea had managed to turn what was meant to be a health event into what looked like a VIP club after party. That was just the drinks. Because when the stage lights lit up, it got even worse. On the main stage, attendees were preparing for the highlight of the night. Exclusive musical performances that, in theory, were meant to inspire hope and solidarity with those affected by breast cancer. Reality would take an even wilder, more out-of-touch turn than the champagne. Jay Park's a performer. He's got hits, he's got stages, he's got a full catalog of songs that do exactly what they're meant to do. Get a crowd hyped, right? Music for the club. So when you give him a mic and a stage, well, he's gonna do what he does best. You know, he's gonna perform the songs that made him Jay Park. The problem is where he was performing them. This was not a club, it was not a summer festival, it was not a fashion after party. This was a breast cancer awareness gala. And the song, it was Mommy. Which means body.
Shake that ass for me.
Nothing raises awareness like shaking your ass for a tune. The song lyrics were like, "I'd like to meet your twins. Yeah, the ones on your chest." Or, "I'm curious about the taste of those peaches and melons. All natural." This might have been the one time, by the way, breasts were mentioned in this event. In this breast cancer awareness. You're done. But imagine being a woman or a person. I say woman because women are disproportionately more affected by breast cancer. Someone in the audience, someone watching the event, okay, that had gone through breast cancer, someone who had to potentially get their breast removed due to the complications of the disease, the tumor, someone who'd gone through chemo. Imagine that person hearing this. I'd like to meet your twins, yeah, the ones on your chest. Twins. Of all the dirty songs you could have picked even. For guts, come on! Curious about the taste of these peaches and all natural. A lot of cancer patients opt for cosmetic surgery to bring back the breast they lost. You can't be for real. It's not just awkward, it's out of touch in a way that makes you wince. This isn't about Jay Park being problematic. No, he performed his music the same way he always does. Responsibility falls on the organizers, the W Korea team that listened to these lyrics and thought, that's the one, it's the perfect fit. You know, for tonight, a night meant to honor people fighting breast cancer. It's not Jay Park's fault that his song wasn't written for cancer patients. It's W Korea's fault that thought it was an appropriate fit in the first place. That stage was diabolical. Doesn't stop there. Halfway through the show, on the giant screen behind the stage where images alluding to the fight against cancer, the stories of breast cancer patients should have been projected. We instead see W Korea's past campaign videos, accompanied by clips of models in sexy underwear. Y'all missed the plot. One of them shows a woman in lace lingerie. People didn't like it. They thought it was tasteless. Somebody said this isn't a solidarity campaign. It's a vanity show. It's not about the awareness anymore. It was about putting on a show, no matter how tone deaf that show turned out to be. The irony does not stop there. Sit down, please. You're gonna need to sit down. While the crowd was twerking for awareness, the donations were basically non-existent. Which brings us to the next part of the story. This bit's uglier. So, let's talk about the money, or lack of. W Korea said we had donated 1.1 billion Korean won over the last 20 years. That is roughly $775,000. Okay, they're very proud to have contributed $35,000 a year for the last 20 years. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. But with all the sponsors, the outfits, the math is not mathing. 1.1 billion. That statement was on their website. Now it's gone. Quickly removed when Representative Lee Soo-jin from the National Assembly officially requested donation data from the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Guess what she found? Between 2007 and 2024, W Korea's direct donations to the Korea Breast Health Foundation totaled 315 million won. It's about $220,000. You said $700,000? $220,000 in 20 years. Some years there weren't even any donations at all. 2008, 2009, 2017 through 2023, zero. Nothing. Not even a symbolic donation. So that's an average of $15,000 a year if you're not counting the gap years. If you are, the past 20 years, that's $11,000 a year. That's less than what you pay in your fiscal contributions every year. That's their fundraiser. My school bake sale used to raise more money than that every year. $10,000 is, let's be honest, less than their individual outfits at the event. One Hermes clutch at the entrance table. Bam, $10,000. All that fun, the party, the drinks, the music, put all that aside. Who cares, really? I don't care. They're raising for charity, right? Wrong! That's what's nuts. But W Korea insisted that Representative Lee is misunderstanding. When adding the omitted corporate and individual donations, as well as the 3 years of contributions to the Population Health and Welfare Association, the total cumulative amount is 960 million, blah, blah, blah. They said the total amounts to 1.1 billion. They insist. Those records that she saw didn't include their sponsors, who also donated. It was just direct W Korea donation. So with their direct contributions and their sponsors included, it came to about $100,000 for this year. Cool. Let's compare that to another gala. Huge stars, massive brands. Let's compare this to the Met Gala. Obviously the Met Gala is a lot bigger. But How much bigger? In 2025, the Met Gala raised $31 million in that year alone. Not that noble of a cause in comparison, really. It was for the Museum of Art's Costume Institute. $31 million and $100,000. Again, I know the Met Gala is a lot bigger, but Love Your W wasn't your local county's Harvest Festival. Love Your W was also a big event. All that glam, these celebrities, those outfits, those massive brands. All of this. And they raised enough to maybe cover the treatment for 3 cancer patients if the treatment costs were on the higher end. Treatment costs in Korea go from $7,000 to $30,000. I assume the more expensive treatments are the ones that would need more financial help. It's still great that you've raised and are helping at the very least 3 cancer patients. The potential in an event like this just feels like it should be a lot bigger, you know, of an impact. I don't know. Is their goal really to help cancer patients and cover their treatment expenses? Is that what their goal really is? Or is there something else and we're just donating enough for a certain reason? It gets even worse. The company's CEO, also the magazine's editor-in-chief, sits on the board of Korea Breast Health Foundation. The same foundation that receives the donations from her company, right? So the person writing the checks is also the person approving the checks? Yes. We call that vertical integration for tax write-offs. So not only did their event really exaggerate the impact of their numbers, it basically turned a charity into a marketing credit reel. Now, I don't know, I'm not their accountant, but arguably, they raised millions in sponsorships and glam and product placement. All these incredibly famous faces. Dyson, the Moet champagne, designer brands left, right, and center. Only a fraction of that ever made it to the patients. They raised less than what a couple of them outfits combined would cost. That should piss people off. Okay? Y'all can drink, get party, do what you want, but like, at the very least, okay, let the donations that you're pretending, like y'all, if you wanted to have a party, just call it a party. Y'all don't need to like hide behind it. Charity, it's a charity. Can we have fun? No, that's not necessary, y'all. If you want to have fun, have fun. Don't call it a charity when it's not. It looks like a tax write-off to me, you know? That's what should piss people off. Not what she was wearing. Did you see what he was wearing? Shame. You got people losing their minds over somebody's underwear strap show. That said, yes, attendees have a social responsibility going to a charity fundraiser.
No, this was a party masked as a charity event.
Only a handful of artists really tried to restore some dignity to this event. The girls of Addit took a moment to talk about the importance of health and early detection. Thank God some Ray from IV or IVE, don't know how to pronounce it, also an exception. She's later in a live podcast, she shared how she tried to get educated before the event on breast cancer.
인식이 중요한 것 같아요. 그래서 저도 옛날에 아팠던 적이 있으니까 다른 아픔이었지만 등 고통이고 그래서 좀 더 인식이 좋아졌으면 생각했어요. 공부해왔거든요. 어색하니까.
You know, having gone through complications herself, health complications in the past. Some left early, didn't feel like it was appropriate. That's reasonable and it's socially responsible. Some toasted with water, such as members of Stray Kids, as to not be considered promoting a potential cause to breast cancer at a breast cancer event. But lots of the rage online is at the attendees, and I get that. You got people who are really big fans of these celebrities, and seeing them partake in an event so negatively perceived like it pisses someone off, especially considering Korean society. Korean society is harsh, judgmental, and collectivist in nature, which means the Koreans have a constant pressure to be considerate. It's a society where group harmony is prioritized, which makes the whole thing being that out of touch a little weirder. But the real direction of our questions should be at the hosts, the raisers, that's fundraisers without funds. W Korea. Look at all this. After days of silence, completely wiping out all possible traces of their event on their Instagram, deleting videos, locking comments, W Korea finally broke the silence. They posted a public corporate apology on October 19th, World Breast Cancer Day.
We deeply apologize for failing to consider the perspectives of breast cancer patients and their families in our breast cancer party. We take this feedback very seriously, and we will reflect deeply.
You feel that? The corporate empathy? Oh, it's so cold. At the end of the day, the point isn't that W Korea threw a party. No, it's how they threw it. Because fun and awareness are not enemies. Okay, they're not incompatible. Nobody's saying that people at a charity gala should
Sit in silence and cry into their soup and refuse to smile.
No, you can celebrate, you can laugh, you can dance, hell, you can even have a drink. The problem starts when the fun becomes the focus and the cause becomes the prop. When a night that's supposed to raise awareness, honor survivors, ends up solely promoting luxury brands. When champagne is mandatory at an event about breast cancer. Because they're the sponsor! When the only time the word breast got mentioned was in a dirty song lyric. Because then it stops being about awareness. It becomes aesthetic awareness. How good charity looks on a company.
W Korea, you guys are so charitable. Every year you have this party for breast cancer, you guys are too good.
Listen, just because it was October you felt obligated, throw a Halloween party instead. Since you're not donating much anyway. Just kidding. I mean, a little is good still, right? It's just the scale, it just feels off. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, having fun at a charity gala is not wrong, but that fun has to live in harmony with the message, not overshadow it. It's a matter of balance and sensitivity. People can laugh, dance, and drink, as long as the purpose stays clear, and most importantly, the money transparent. Share your thoughts down in the comments below, guys. Let me know, what are your thoughts on this? I'm a little bit weirded out about the money thing because the event had a purpose. It's their yearly charity event, right? So their yearly awareness fundraiser. So you're seeing all these people, all these brands, but you're not seeing much of the money. Is everybody just not paying anything? Is that what it is? Are the sponsors not paying? What are they doing? That's wild, you know? Transparency. That's what will fix this. Obviously, the behavior was weird, right? From a couple of the people that were there. But that money thing dwarves everything else, in my opinion. What are your thoughts? Share them down in the comments below, guys. That's pretty much it.
I'm gonna go. We have the Dementia Disco thing. Are you going like this? You're supposed to be dressed for Dementia Disco.